guys, it's Tavis Taylor. Come on in. Don't I look cute? Don't you love my hair? Hi guys, it's Tavis Taylor. Come on in. I'm trying to get my Periscope together. So I want us to discuss some things today. Hey Miss Christy, don't you love my hair? Hi. I'm trying to get my Periscope together. We're going to talk about post-traumatic stress today. Go ahead and invite your followers. I'm sorry that I'm kind of delayed. This kind of messed up. Traumatic. Hope everybody's doing good today. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Okay, great. I can see my viewers now, but we're going to talk about post-traumatic stress today in depression. Hi, Elaine. It's so good to see you. So good to see you. Post-traumatic stress today. As most of you know, and please forgive me, I'm not rude. I'm just trying to get my Periscope going as well. But as most of you know, I've been posting information about fasting against depression and suicide. And let me just be clear when I say I believe in fasting and praying, but I also know that medication is needed as well. One thing that we don't do is we don't take the time to really discuss depression. We don't discuss it. We suffer in silence, and we have a tendency, especially in the body of Christ, and this thing irritates me more than anything. We have the tendency to, well, first of all, let me tell you who I am. I am Tavis Taylor with Tavis Taylor Talks, and I have Behind the Walls Ministries. Behind the Walls, taking off the mask. And what I do is I assist people in taking off their mask, whether you're taking off your mask of anger, depression. We all have our gifts, and one of my gifts is being able to listen to a conversation, whether you are a CEO or whether you are in the ghetto, wherever. God has gifted me with the ability to be able to listen to a conversation and offer insight, a different level of insight. And so I'm grateful for my gift, and I'm grateful for the ability in this season to finally admit that gift. Everybody has a different gift. Some can clean houses, some can comb hair. As you see, mine is plaited up. I'm not good at that. But, God has gifted me to be able to listen and hear a conversation and be able to offer insight. But I will tell you this. I've been dealing with depression, or people who are depressed. I have clients. I have anger management clients. I do coaching. I do one-on-one sessions. I do group sessions. And what I have found is we have some situations in our lives that we don't even heal from or discuss. And depression is real, but one thing we don't talk about is post-traumatic stress disorder. And we will be discussing that tonight on the call, if you are interested in the call or not. But we suffer in silence. I remember when I was going through so much, people say, well, just pray about it. People say, trust God. What does that look like? What does trust God look like? If I'm, having all these thoughts in my mind and suicidal thoughts, because I dealt with that spirit too, the spirit of suicide. I've been delivered, and I'm grateful for it. But post-traumatic stress disorder is definitely real. And I read you the definition of it, because if I can enlighten one person today, when I tell you that will bless me to know that somebody has been enlightened, somebody can understand what they're going through. PTSD is a disorder that develops in some people who have experienced a shocking, scary, or dangerous event. Now, that could be anything from molestation to rape. You might have witnessed a murder. Your body goes through trauma. And did you know that your body holds trauma? Your body holds trauma. Now, I will tell you the information that I'm going to give to you is from the National Institute of Mental Health. And so this is definitely credible information. You can go and research it for yourself. But I just want to bring an awareness to this because these situations are real. People are going through every day, y'all, and it's so sad to me. It is so sad to me. Like I tell my boys, I don't believe in having an entire bad day. I believe in having bad moments in your day. But if you are depressed, if you are going through post-traumatic stress, these things show up at the most inopportune time. What I want you to do, what I challenge you to do to see if you even suffer from this is it certain times of the year do you get depressed? And if you do, did something happen during that time of the year? Do you have more pep in your step at different times of the year? Post-traumatic stress is real. Depression is real. It says to be diagnosed with PTSD, an adult must have one of the following for at least 1 month. At least one re-experiencing symptom, at least one aborted symptom, at least 2 arousal or reactivity symptoms, and mood symptoms. You may have flashbacks of something that happened, whether you can still see somebody get murdered, whether you can still see when you were molested, when you were raped, whatever that situation is, when somebody says you were not going to be something, whether it may show up in bad dreams. PTSD is real. Depression is real. And I just want to challenge people to get help. I want to challenge people to inbox somebody you feel safe with, because this stuff is real. And you don't have to suffer in silence. There is medication. I believe in medication. There is medication. We discussed last night that in African Americans, our vitamin D levels are typically low, and that can have you feeling down. So I suggest you go to your doctor. I suggest you go to your counselor to see what's going on with you. You do not have to suffer. There is a new joy and a laughter that I know God wants us to have. And when we think about depression, when we think about PTSD, people in the Bible suffer from depression. Look at David. David was troubled and he battled with despair. Jonah. Jonah was angry and he ran away. So when we talk about this, Elijah was discouraged and he was afraid. So all of these things happen in biblical times for my super religious people. That people back in the day, in the Bible days, they suffered too. And so I just challenge anybody and everybody, if you're going through depression, if you're going through PTSD, some of these things are normal. Life can deal us some heavy blows. Sometimes we are in denial. Sometimes we don't understand that we are suffering. Sometimes we don't know what's wrong with us. You know, and I get there are a few things that irritate me greatly. And one thing that irritates me greatly is when people tell somebody to just pray about something and don't give them the explanation of how to do it. When I tell you, or if somebody's going through something, well, you must not have faith, don't do that to me. To me, that's evil. And I am a minister. That is so evil to me, to tell somebody to pray about something and not show them. To tell somebody, well, don't worry about it. Don't question God. The devil doesn't lie. Jesus questioned God. So we as a body of Christ, and even as human beings, we've got to be more sensitive to people. Take off our shoes and put ourselves in other people's shoes. Don't downplay what somebody is going through. What if you downplay what somebody is going through and the next thing you know, they're committing suicide? Their blood will be on your hands. We've got to be more sensitive than to just to ourselves. So we've got to deal with these issues. We've got to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. And you say, Tavis, what makes you qualified to deal with this? Well, number one, I dealt with these issues before. And I don't mind telling my story. I dealt with depression. I dealt with suicidal thoughts. And I know for me, it was a spirit. And when I tell you God delivered me from that, you can be delivered. And when I was going through what I was going through, I took medication. 2003, 4, and maybe 5, when I was going through everything with my deepest dark secrets, and well, my secret, everybody know, but I took something because I couldn't go through that. That was traumatic. Don't y'all understand? Prison was traumatic for me. And so we have some situations that are traumatic, and to tell people to just get over it. Some people can't just get over stuff. So I just want to bring in awareness. I just want people to understand that, you know what? There is somebody that is out there, and I'm praying for y'all. I am praying for us. I'm praying for y'all. I'm praying for our seed, because guess what? I am qualified. I am qualified. I'm qualified because I dealt with it. I'm qualified because I know God. I'm qualified because I know that I can believe for somebody else. I can believe for somebody else's happiness. I am qualified because I stand in the gap. And I'm also working on my license count, my LPC. So the credentials, sometimes credentials don't matter when you just need somebody to say, I understand. Sometimes people just need you to say, I understand. But I challenge you, honestly, and I leave you with this, because I have an appointment. I leave you with this. I want you to look and see in your life if you are indeed suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. Have you gone through something, and it's every year at a particular time you get depressed? Every year at a particular time you feel like giving up. Every year at a particular time you feel like throwing in the towel. You could possibly be suffering from PTSD. And so I'll post some information about the call tonight. I do have a closed group where we are fasting for 3 days. Some of us are doing liquids from 6 to 6, because you know what? I just believe, y'all, I am brave enough to publicly say that I believe that this fast we're doing will save somebody from committing suicide. I believe that this fast that we're doing and this public awareness that God has me doing, because it's definitely God, because I'll be honest with you, I could think of other things that I could want to do. And I'll never forget one time, my oldest son asked me one time, I saw somebody on the cover of the newspaper and I was crying. And he said, Mama, why do you care? And I told him, you know what? I don't even know, but I do. And so because this is my plight, this is my passion, this is what I'm to do right now, I am doing it. But I believe that somebody will come forth and say, you know what? I was suffering in silence, but because of what you guys did, because you guys fasted and prayed, I got help. And if it's only one life, if it only brings awareness to one person, then I feel like our job has been done. I am grateful for the women and men who are praying us through this, who are selfless enough to say, you know what, I'm going to pray about that. Now, don't get it twisted. This is not everybody's passion. And if it's not your passion, I am okay with that, because we all have different passions. And so I don't get upset with anybody if they don't feel like it's their cause, or if they don't feel like they should be doing it. I understand. Find your passion. Whatever your passion is, just do it. But depression is real. Post-traumatic stress is real. Our Black men are suffering in silence because they are depressed. When you get home to your husbands or your boyfriends or your baby dads, I want you to talk to them. I want you to ask the question, do you ever get down? And don't be nagging asking the questions. I want you to watch. Be considerate enough to put yourself aside for a minute. And I want you to ask them questions. I want you to watch their behaviors. I want you to check and see, are their vitamin D levels low? Do they need more amino acids in their body? We are suffering in silence, y'all, and we don't have to. I don't want another little brown boy, white boy, Chinese, Jew, Gentile, whoever, to commit suicide again because they had to suffer in silence. I don't want that. We go through some stuff as human beings. I honestly don't believe some of this stuff, I don't believe we're supposed to be having to deal with, but we do. And so as we deal with this stuff, as we deal with situations, we've got to be more sensitive to our needs and other people's needs as well, okay? So I want you to be encouraged. We will be on the call again tonight at 8 o'clock. We will finish tomorrow at 8. and I'll have to see what the next step is. I'm looking at a forum somewhere to bring the churches together and people together so that we can talk about this, so that not another person, another child, anybody else will commit suicide or suffer in silence. And walking around with masks on and walking around not knowing what to do next because they have no outlet, no one to talk to about this, or can't even identify what they are struggling with. Y'all like my hair? Okay? So I want you to be encouraged. I want you to know you're not alone. I posted a 1-800 number on my Facebook today. But I believe that there are some people in these churches, if this is your area of expertise, if this is we've got to decide, we've got to figure out what our niche is in the body of Christ so that we can help each other. We have to help each other. No more suffering in silence. So I bid you a good day. The call will be at 8 o'clock tonight. We do have a closed group. PTSD is real. Suicidal thoughts are real, and depression is real. Tonight we're going to delve more into what PTSD is, what depression is, ways to tell if you're depressed or if your teen is depressed. We're going to delve into all of that tonight, okay? All right, you guys have a wonderful day. This is Tavis Taylor with Tavis Taylor Talks, and everybody knows that Tavis Taylor always has something to talk about.